coming to Washington promising to drain the swamp, but the involvement of Trump's children in his White House transition, as well as his business dealings, may be blurring the line somewhat between public service, private profit. Brian Todd is working the story for us. Brian, what are you learning?
Well, we're seeing more alarm bells being raised tonight because it seems that the potential government portfolios of Trump's children, especially his daughter Ivanka, only seem to be expanding. Ethics lawyers, other experts, openly questioning tonight if Trump and his children can achieve any separation from his business empire.
Our government will be honest, ethical, and responsive.
When Donald Trump is in the White House, he plans to hand off his business holdings to his children. But there are growing signs of potential conflicts of interest. Trump's daughter Ivanka joined him in his meeting with Japan's prime minister.
And what it looks like is he may be forming less of a team of rivals and more of a team of relatives, and that's a problem.
Like any business, Trump's empire is affected by policies set by the government. But with his children playing key roles in his transition team, choosing the country's top policymakers, critics say it's problematic.
It's incredible. I mean, there are conflicts at every turn. Trump has said that there will be a wall between, his kids and his business interest and his public ambitions. There's no wall that we're seeing right now.
The Trump transition team says it will make sure all rules and regulations are followed. And Trump's business organization says this is how it plans to handle the ethical dilemma.
It's going to be placed into a blind trust.
But experts say your own children are not what most lawyers would call a blind trust.
And it's not credible to say that it's a blind trust, because in an actual blind trust, he would divest himself of all of the interests that he holds. He would sell off his properties that he owns, and he would put the proceeds into a trust that's run by an independent third party.
Trump himself has shown uncertainty.
Well, I don't know if it's a blind trust if Ivanka, Don, and Eric run it, but is that a blind trust? I don't know.
One of Trump's top supporters offers this assurance.
There'll have to be a wall between them with regard to government matters.
Also complicated, the case of Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who's playing a trusted role in the Trump transition team. He runs a newspaper and a billion-dollar real estate company. Could Trump give a top post to his own son-in-law?
It may be legally questionable and politically perilous for him to choose someone close to him, and the number one qualification being that they're related to Donald Trump.
Why doesn't Trump just turn his entire business empire over to an outside third-party trustee?
Donald trusts no one more than he trusts Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Eric. But the problem that Donald has is that he doesn't trust very many people.
Now, one glaring physical example of President-elect Trump's potential conflicts of interest is here, just a few blocks away from the White House, the Trump International Hotel. Trump Hotels is the tenant, and once he's president, Trump is also going to be the landlord, since this property is rented from the federal government. Trump will have the power to hire and fire the head of the General Services Administration, the GSA, which oversees this property, and he could conceivably, in effect, be in a position to negotiate the rent for this place with himself. Neither the Trump transition team nor the Trump organization have commented on that. The GSA told CNN it's going to work to address any potential conflicts of interests with this building. Wolf?
Interesting. All right, Brian, thanks very much. Brian Todd reporting.